Welcome to the Missouri Woods and Water Podcast. Got all three of us tonight. We got Nate, Micah, and Andy. How we doing, boys?
Good.
It's always good to get on here and talk a little bit coyote hunting, and we'll also talk about a good cause that coyote hunting's going to do.
Good event for a good cause.
Yeah.
You fellas are in studio for one reason only.
Yeah.
My internet sucks.
It does.
And we had 3 guests on the old internets today, so we're like, guys, I don't know if it's a good idea to try.
Press our luck.
Yeah.
Right.
But I am getting fiber ran on my road. The truck was out at the end of my driveway today doing the little computer, you had the trailer in the back.
Yep.
So I'm like,
3 to 6 months will happen. No, I'm kidding.
I'm hoping within the next 2 months.
I would
I'm
think
hoping.
in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Usually it's pretty quick.
I feel after once they do the computer doodle-doo,
Yeah.
it seems to
You get the flyer in the mail.
After they do that,
Right.
the mapping.
So I'm hoping I get a flyer in the mail soon. And then I can say goodbye to T-Mobile.
I called them, and they were like, "Oh, we can hook you up."
Oh, shit.
And then
Maybe I need to do that.
and then I had it for a week or two, and then a guy came into my door and be like, "Hey man, it's in your area. If you want it," I'm like, "I already got it, bud. I've been waiting for this for 11 years now. I'm waiting."
Because you didn't have
We
anything.
didn't have nothing. We were going off hotspot.
It's funny because you opened nothing to fiber.
Right.
Yeah. Which I've had something in the area, but it's always been garbage.
Yeah, it's all crap.
And so
Nobody wants to
I'm
hear
looking
about
forward
that.
to it. No, yeah. But, so we talk coyote hunting. We've got 2 ladies on, Lindsay and Devin from Grow Pediatric Therapy Services. I said that correctly. And they talk about what their organization is and what the tournament is that they're having that
Changing up some fundraiser strategies.
Yep.
that our buddy Corey Groff is helping put on because he's got a big heart and is helping do that. And so we talked to them for a little while, and then we also just talked coyote hunting with Corey alone for another half hour or so.
Yeah.
So there's kind of 2 little mini episodes, I guess you could call it.
A little Bobcat insight for a minute.
Yeah, especially during a tournament, because I've never really thought about bobcats during a tournament much. Like if they I think all
Show
of us
up,
are kind of,
they show up.
they show up.
Right.
But he talks about targeting bobcats midday.
Yeah.
Pretty smart.
Which it doesn't matter for the tournament that we're going to be talking about today.
No,
It's after.
but during bobcat season,
Yeah.
like the one we're going to be in this weekend, which will be over by the time you hear this, that it matters.
We
So,
placed first. So
oh God, you
I'm
idiot,
putting it out.
you
on
fucking
the-
idiot.
You guys have a chance.
Everybody's got you.
Everybody's got a chance. But yeah, so that's the show this week. I'm not sure what we got coming up. I'm hoping some more coyote stuff. Actually, we usually do an end of the year listener questions show, and we hadn't done that yet. So
It is the end of the year. Oh my gosh.
we could get that done next week.
Yeah.
We could try us, on Riverside, just us 3. We'd have to plan that a little bit in advance so that we can get the listener questions out there. But
Right.
we got that coming up, and then just some more coyote talk probably coming heavy.
For sure.
Maybe some
Some rifles, and everybody likes to talk about guns.
bang bangs. Yeah,
I've been getting deeper and deeper in that whole just customizing and stuff like that. And it's hard on the wallet.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. But before we get into our sponsors, I'm gonna go ahead and say it now in case you miss it during the show. February 7th is when this tournament is.
7th and 8th.
Well, it
7th.
starts the 7th.
Yeah, it
Ends the
starts. It's going to be a, what do you call that?
Day and a half.
Day and a half.
Yep.
So
8th, night and day.
night and day. Check-in is from 5 to 7, I believe, and you can hunt immediately after that. And check-in is the next evening. I'm not exactly sure what time the check-in was.
6.
Was it 6?
You said 6.
Okay.
At
so,
the Roop Center in
Yeah.
Carrollton, Missouri.
Yeah.
Carrollton's in West Central-ish Missouri. If you
Corey
don't know
will be
where it
up
is.
there, so I'm sure you guys have seen him on Fox Pro and all those things. So if you guys want to talk to him, he'll be up there for sure. We're hoping to make it.
Make sure you walk up to Corey and talk to him about how much you love the 204 also.
Yeah, show him pictures of all the dead animals you've killed with it.
204, yes.
He'll love it.
He'll love it.
Yeah.
He will be tickled pink.
But we'll get into the sponsors real quick. That way we can get into the show. So, Reveal Cameras by Tacticam. I have one camera going right now. I have one of Nubs that I've talked about numerous times. He's still alive. He's already lost his antlers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who knows? He might make it another year. We'll see. we'll see what winter brings. So check them out. Black Ovis, use the code MWW10 for 10% off. Lots of good things there. I'm wearing one of their jackets right now.
We hopefully will be out.
Vest is my favorite vest.
The gray one? I forget the name of it.
I got a tan.
You got the same one in
Okay.
tan.
Yeah,
Same
mine's
one,
gray.
tan.
Freaking amazing.
They need to make it in black.
I got to stop because I'm like, oh, I've already worn that twice this week. I should probably wear something
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They need to make that same one in black. Also,
I just want to get the gray one.
chef's
See, the
kiss.
gray one, you can wear that on Sunday morning, and if you want to go take it out. I ain't going to take it hunting because it's
It's
too nice.
too nice.
It's
Yeah.
too nice, but it's a nice vest.
Yeah.
But Black Ovis.
But yeah, we'll actually the week after this tournament, hopefully be out there in Salt Lake City, Utah, at the Western Hunt Expo.
Yep.
That's the plan, at least for now, is to go out there and hang out with our folks at Black Ovis.
Sure.
So we're excited about that. I've never
been there.
have I been to Utah? I don't know.
I don't
I
think
used to have a shirt that said, "Utah, but I'm taller."
I have.
I had a picture of the state.
And that was factual for you.
Yeah, it was.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Camo Fire, rotating door of deals. Haven't been on there in a little bit.
You know what would be the coolest thing in the world?
What?
To be at the Camo Fire headquarters,
Oh, I'm calling
taking a
out Tuesday.
shit in their bathroom on the Camo Fire app.
I wonder if they'll let us pick the items. Be like, hey, can we pick the next items for the next round? It's a
good
thought.
question.
It's a thought.
It's a
Pick
good one.
tomorrow's deals.
Yeah.
Missouri Woods and Water items.
Yeah.
See if we can put one of our hats on there.
We have one hat.
Quantity one.
Literally, we might have one. I don't know.
On to the next one. Onyx. Use the code MWW20. Save yourself 20%.
We will all be using the shit out of that on Saturday.
Heavy. I use it probably more this time of year than I do during deer season. Yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up.
Learned a new feature.
What new feature?
I got an Apple Watch for Christmas.
Yeah.
You can drop a pin on your watch
You know
into
that?
the Onyx
You got
app.
on it. You got a watch, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like, so if you ever want to be, sneaky, like if your buddies, you're going hunting with your buddy one time,
I got you.
you don't want to pull out your phone and drop a pin. You can just
Drop a pin right there with your.
drop it right there
So
on.
I'm making all of you leave your watches in the truck next time.
You won't have to worry about me. I don't wear a watch when I hunt, so I'm good.
I do wear a watch.
I don't.
Okay, Lucky Buck. Probably want to be putting some mineral out there. All the deer are definitely.
They're hitting it.
They are. Yep. We've got one spot. I dumped it.
And a lot of people
Recently.
think about mineral
In the spring. Summer.
Springtime.
You need to think about your herd health
Right.
going through a winter. You know,
keep them healthy. Maybe put some of that freak factor. Maybe they can, put on a few lbs, carb up, sort of thing. Midwest Gunworks. Use the code 5OFFMWW. Save yourself 5%. All kinds of goodies there.
Did you get your spring from there?
No, I didn't. I was gonna. So the listeners know I bought an American Rigger 243. I have put a MDT chassis on it, and I recently put it's M Carbo. I was debating. I wanted to get a trigger, but I was like, it's Christmas time. I don't need to be spending that extra money. You can actually get a spring kit.
Yeah.
And it's from M Carbo, I believe the name is like $12, $20 after shipping
Yeah.
or whatever. And so I went with that, and I actually put it in before I came over here tonight. Yeah, it definitely lightened it up a
It
little
works.
bit.
I put one of those in my 300 win bag back when I was using that.
It just took, I think on the Rugers, I want to say the factory's around 4 pounds, and this one's supposed to take it
About half.
2.
Yep.
So
Yeah, they do the job.
Yeah, excited about that.
Way to not use Midwest Gunworks though.
Yeah,
Piece of shit.
they didn't have it.
Ah.
If I was going to buy the trigger, that's where I was going to get it from.
Yep.
Athlon Optics, that 243 has an Aries on it. Super excited to get out there.
One's sitting right there.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the Aries and the Midas Tac. How, man, sometimes like the Midas Tac I love so much too.
And not just scopes, they also have thermals. I have a new scanner to go along with my thermal that I have on my gun.
Chronos.
Yep.
Chronos thermal.
Chronos thermal, is that? What's the scanner? Is it a Chronos?
I'm not sure what it's called.
I don't know. But anyways, I'm super excited because I didn't have anything with an LRF, and that scanner has it.
Yep.
So, and
And you don't have to
you don't gotta
calibrate it. Yeah, it
it comes calibrated. So
Yeah.
you're good there. But I love all my Athlon stuff. morel targets. I'm pretty much done deer hunting, so I've slacked on the shooting of the morel targets. But
I wish you would go hunting one more time because I got that hyperlight in.
that does me no good.
I mean, I want to use it.
So you just gonna tag along?
Yeah,
so you
just
can
want to
use
tag
it?
along with you so I can get in the tree.
Well, if something would show up on camera, there's that chance. But right now,
A few of them have, but nothing
nothing I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So
I might check at morel targets though for some late Christmas presents. If you guys still have some gifts for people.
yeah, absolutely. So other than that, let's get into the show, boys.
Let's do it. Let's get into our show with Corey Groff and Devin and Lindsay with Grow Pediatric Therapy Services.
All right.
This is the Missouri Woods and Water Podcast. Okay, we have got a full house tonight. We have got 3 guests, and we've got all 3 hosts in studio. So this is going to be a live one here. But we've got returning guest Corey Groff. Corey, what's up, buddy?
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me again.
No problem, man. And then we also have Devin Graf. Did I say that right, Devin? I should have asked earlier.
Yeah. Nope, you did. Graf.
Perfect. And then Lindsay Meyer with Grow Pediatric Therapy. Ladies, how are you doing?
We're doing well. Thank you.
Doing great, thanks.
Awesome. So this is kind of a section or a little, what do you call this? A clip of our episode today. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it's a preamble because I don't know where it's going yet.
Okay.
But it's a part of today's show.
Sure.
And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a few things, but Corey is helping out with Devin and Lindsay with a Coyote tournament this year that's being put on, I guess we'll say, in benefit of Grow Pediatric Therapy. So before we get into all that stuff, let's have Devin and Lindsay introduce themselves. Corey needs no introduction. He's been on the show 412 times. It is what it is. Corey Groff.
He should have said
The 204 times. 204 times. That's right. So, Devin, let's start with you. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Sure. So my name is Devin Graf. I am the director of Grow Pediatric Therapy Services. I'm an occupational therapist and married with 2 kids. I live in between Alma and Concordia, Missouri, so pretty local to where you guys are at there. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Lindsay?
I am also married with 3 boys, live in Brunswick, Missouri, and Corey is a frequent visitor at our house, and that's kind of what got this started.
Yeah, that's.
I'm glad I'm just a frequent visitor.
Yeah.
That just sounds creepy.
This weird dude's always just at our house, just hanging out, which is odd because he lives 4 hours away.
Right.
But yeah, so let's talk about Grow Pediatric. Am I saying this right? Grow Pediatric Therapy
Services, yes.
Therapy Services. I thought I was close.
Uh-huh.
So let's
you're
talk
welcome.
about it a little bit and what Lindsay, you and Devin both do for the organization. But let's start at that area, the 30,000 foot view. What is your organization? What do you guys do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, initially, Grow started just out of a sheer need to provide some services for kids in rural Missouri that didn't have access to other services without driving a great distance. Kansas City, Columbia, those bigger towns where there are more, services are more readily available, basically. And so we started this as a nonprofit back in 2018. So before COVID and all the good things there. And, we really gained a lot of traction in those first few years. And then, COVID kind of, like everything else, it stopped us for a little bit. I went through breast cancer about that same time. So I feel like in about 2022, we started back over. And when we started back over, that was we call them the original 5. There were 5 of us. and mostly just providing OT services in school districts, and then also providing some summer camp type services. Therapeutic summer camps is what we call them, to kids in rural Missouri, in various locations. And this, now we're at like 18 employees, and 8 school districts, and counting. So we've got a lot of great things going on. Lindsay came on with me in 2022, I think it was, wasn't it, Lindsay?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, Lindsay's been a great asset. This is all her baby. This was her idea. And so I'm super, super excited for it. I'm not a hunter myself, but my husband's, an avid hunter. So he's excited as well. Lindsay, do you want to talk a little bit about what you do?
Sure, yeah. So I am currently going to 5 school districts and it keeps me hopping for sure, but it is a super amazing thing to be able to witness all these kids who maybe don't have access to go other places, get these services that they truly need provided in the schools. So it's really good, and I'm hoping that we continue to grow and that this hunt will reach a lot more kids.
So, what are the services you guys provide? What's some of the stuff you do? I think
So
one of the schools that Lindsay actually goes to is my kid's school. But what are the things that you guys do in those schools?
So, I mean, we kind of have two realms of what we do in schools. Some of it is provided through the students' individualized education plans called IEPs. So, if
Hmm.
they have occupational therapy minutes within those, we provide those minutes. But on the other side of things, we provide what we call the regulation room interventions, and that is all based on a premise of reflex integration. So reflexes, I mean, they're really an amazing thing to kind of learn about, but in a nutshell, we're all born with reflexes, and they're supposed to, over the course of the first couple years of life, really, they're supposed to integrate or fall into the background. And what we're finding is that kids whose reflexes maybe don't integrate, or they don't integrate correctly, they have gaps in development, and that turns into learning difficulties for a lot of our students. It might be purely learning differences. It might be attention difficulties. It might be anxiety. We see a lot of kids who are stuck kind of in fight or flight response. And instead of pulling on that response when they need it, they're living in that every day. So finding that their reflexes are coming to the forefront to protect them when things truly aren't a danger. And so their little bodies just aren't really made to multitask like that all day long. And so we really truly see a wide range of students. And we also provide dyslexia interventions now as well. We have a developmental specialist that came on board this last year, and she provides reading interventions through the Barton Reading Program as well as the Orton Gillingham method. And so we're seeing a huge influx of kids that are in need of that, and we're pairing that with some skilled occupational therapy services, and the results we're seeing is just incredible.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that hits home because, well, I have dyslexia, and my daughter, she actually has it too. So I know maybe she was one of the children y'all helped there too. So that's awesome.
yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Would
it's pretty
definitely
cool.
be. Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, the part that is interesting to me, or is going to be interesting for me to hear, is how in the hell a Coyote tournament came out of this. So it sounds like Lindsay, this started with you. So we'll let you start it, and then Corey obviously can jump in and go. But how did you're sitting here doing Grow Pediatric Therapy Services, doing your thing?
Right.
Corey just is at your house bothering you guys all the time. It sounds like, and
Corey
how,
has
how
a weird bromance with my husband. That's the only way I can explain it. There's this weird bromance, I think.
they call
And
those
so,
Lindsay?
anyways,
Lindsay, they call those bromances.
Yeah.
Bromances.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little love going on there. Let's say that.
So just kind of go through the story on how these two things ended up coming together: a Coyote tournament and your guys' organization.
I think the best way to describe it is Devin and I were having a conversation about what we could do this year and way to raise money for more outlets and more ways to help kids. And I guess I just felt like we needed to target a different path. It's always T-shirts and hats, and everybody does the dinners. But I thought, let's get some guys involved. Let's go a different route. Let's try this. Corey has good luck with his, and obviously knows way more about this stuff than I do, but kind of led me down the path and kind of explained some things. And so we just kind of ran with it. Just going to see what happens and hope for the best. And maybe it will be a repeating event that we can start it and just keep going.
Awesome. So, it obviously was born, and we have a Coyote tournament that's going to benefit Grow Pediatric Therapy Services. So let's talk about the tournament, all the fun details, the stuff that people want to be able to know so that they can either attend the tournament or, if you can't make the tournament, maybe that you want to donate to some pots or just donate in general. Let's talk about the tournament itself. Let's do, high level stuff first, date, when is it, and that sort of stuff.
Sure. Corey, do you want to talk about that part, or do you want me to go over the details?
It doesn't matter. Go ahead and do the date, and then I'll pick up where you need me to.
Okay, so we are going to host it at the Roop Center in Carrollton, and it is going to be the 7th and 8th of February. So we're going to do a check-in, and then I think the check-in, we have it scheduled from 5 to 7 p.m., and then they check back in on February 8th at 6 p.m. $100 entry fee person, a 2 to 4 person team that also can include one child per team, 13 years and younger, at no extra cost for that. Just trying to get the kids involved. And then really that's kind of my thing. And Corey is going to hopefully help me with the rest because I'm kind of relying on him for that.
Awesome.
So yeah, we wanted to do something a little bit. I don't, and you guys might know, you guys keep up on a lot of the tournaments and stuff across Missouri every year. But we wanted to do something a little bit more unique with this tournament. We wanted to do a day and a night because, we have both parts of those in the state of Missouri. We have a day season and a night season, and we just thought that might integrate really good, that time of year for what we were trying to accomplish. So that's why our check-in's going to be there from 5 to 7 p.m. And then once everybody gets checked in, then we'll come out with the hunt code and people can start hunting. And so that was just kind of the baseline with that. And, Lindsay come to me and asked me, how my tournament is very successful. And, it's not just me, it's all the sponsors and stuff that help me out. And I told Lindsay that right away. I'm like, I know we could probably make this thing successful, but understand, it's got to start somewhere. We got to start with, 20, 30 teams, and then maybe it can grow into something, better later on down the road. So that's what we're hoping for, with this. And, as far as the format goes, like I said, it's something a little different. And, I hope people gravitate to it because it is unique.
Awesome. Is there going to be one check-in? So you check in on the 7th from 5 to 7, go over the rules, and then out you go. And then you come back the 8th. Is it just one check-in? One winner? I guess not one winner, but
yes, because everything's going to be done by video.
Splitting it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. So, what are the what is the benefit that's going to go towards Grow Pediatric Therapy Services? Are we, because that's like guys like us, we like donating to different things. We like going to things like this and helping. And we like seeing, like the Connor Clifton Memorial Tournament that you're doing, Corey. We like seeing that they're, helping people. So like is a certain percentage of the entry fees going towards the organization? How is Grow going to actually grow? I just did that by myself.
That's a good question. So I kind of, Lindsay and I talked about it, and we kind of set it up the same way as how the Connor Clifton hunt is done. It's a $100 entry fee, and then that $100 entry fee is all going to go to Grow. It's all going to go to Grow Pediatric. So
I like it.
contestants are going to be playing for their side pots, and then, of course, with donations, sponsorships, we're going to try to be able to give more money, more prizes away. Just kind of basically the same thing I do with the Connor Clifton hunt.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. So it's February 7th and 8th in Carrollton, Missouri at the Roop Center. Got that
Yes.
correct? So we'll make sure
Yes.
to kind of put that out and, make sure people know about it. This is going to come out very beginning of January, maybe. I can't remember exactly when next Tuesday is, somewhere around there. But
Yeah.
is it the 31st?
Yeah,
So,
31st.
okay. So at the very end of December. So this will give people a month to hear this, to kind of see some of those posts. And, Carrollton's in a pretty decent
So I will
location.
add-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Devin.
Go ahead.
You're okay.
Go ahead, Devin.
Where do you go?
Sorry, I was just going to say that there's information on our website, and that's www.growpedstherapy.org. And also, Lindsay's created a Facebook event where the rules and all that stuff is listed. So if they want to look up, it's hunting for a cause, I think is what it's called, Lindsay, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, on Facebook, that will have a lot. We're posting sponsors and things as we get those in. Right now, we've got, I think, 6 or 8 sponsors maybe. So it's taking
awesome.
off. We're really excited.
And I think it's important for people to realize, like, this is a bragging rights tournament. It's not like this is for a cause, for a
Right.
purpose. A lot of people, I think, in some of the coyote hunting tournaments get caught up in, well, how big's the pot or what is it?
Yeah, how much
This
money,
isn't about that. Like, this is
This is going to be a fun
This is a fun bragging rights tournament.
Yeah.
It's not about the money on this one. It is, but
You
it's,
can
the money
still
is
win.
for
But right, yeah.
the cause.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And that Facebook page, Lindsay, hunting for a
Yes.
cause or hunting for cause?
Hunting for a cause.
Okay, I'll make sure.
Will there be food there and stuff for the hunters after the
Yes.
check-ins and things?
Yes, it's going to be kind of a to-go style food. So everything will just be prepared and they can take it with them.
Perfect.
Awesome. If you're, this podcast is heard kind of all over the Midwest, but in Missouri specifically, Carrollton is in kind of west central Missouri. If you don't know where Carrollton is, it's right off 65 highway, if I got that correct. And just north of 24, if you're familiar with the Higginsville, Missouri area, which is right off I-70, it's 40 minutes north,
Yeah.
Higginsville?
Northeast.
Yeah, about 40. Yeah.
and then a little bit east.
Yeah.
But 40 minutes northeast of Higginsville. So it's pretty easy to get to. Carrollton's an awesome little town. I've been there many a times in my life. So we're excited. We're excited to participate in this year. We're definitely going to be there and going to talk about it and hope that it does good the first year and we'll only get better from there. So Lindsay and Devin, we really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about what your organization does and kind of talking about the tournament as well. And unless you can think of anything else, we'll hit the stop button on this one, and we appreciate you coming.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having us. We appreciate
Okay.
the opportunity.
All right. With our buddy Corey Groff, either before or after. I don't know where I'm going to put this, but what's up, man?
Oh man, just enjoying life. Been sick here lately, so if I sound a little nasally,
Yeah.
sorry, man.
It's been going around like crazy. My whole family had it. I still got a bit of a cough.
Yep.
It's going around bad.
Yep, it sure is. Why you wiggling out of the view there, Andy?
Am I trying to get sick?
Playing this right because maybe now he'll get sick and can't make it to this weekend's tournament.
Oh gosh.
That's just what's needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what's been going on in your life the last couple weeks, I guess?
Oh man, you know me. I've just been killing a few bobcats, killing a few coyotes. Ready for the Clifton hunt to come around here in a few weeks. So been getting prepared for that, getting all my ducks in the row on that. So it's all good, man.
I was listening to your last episode with Foxborough there with our buddy John Collins, and I think you were up to 5 coyotes, or not 5 coyotes, 5 bobcats. What are you up to now?
Well, it was 4 bobcats, and I'm still at 4 bobcats.
Okay. Well,
Close.
Close.
You were being positive thinking.
And did you count one of those? Because your son killed one that was just absolutely gorgeous looking.
Man, that was
the one. Did you count it?
Yeah, I count that. I mean, I called it in, so.
Oh, yeah.
My boy,
yeah,
my
I feel
son,
the same
he
way.
my son, he likes to shoot. He don't do the calling or run a camera or nothing like that. So I make it pretty easy for him.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I figured since we're talking about the tournament up in Carrollton, we just talk about kind of hunting coyotes during a tournament and what you do, and especially during this time of the year when some tournaments, bobcats count for something, foxes count for something sometimes.
Right.
Right now when the tournament that we talked about with Devin and Lindsay makes it, I don't believe bobcats will be in.
I think it'll just
season anymore.
It'll be coyotes, I believe, just coyotes.
But right now,
Right,
the
it'll
one
just
that we're
be
hunting this
coyotes.
weekend, yeah, exactly. So, first off, let's get the monkey out of the cage real quick. Andy and Corey, have been bickering like 2 schoolgirls the last couple of weeks, about this damn 204. And what did you do recently, Andy? You got Corey in some trouble? Is that
I
what you
just made a comment on how pretty his 204 setup looked like on his last coyote double. Was congratulated on the double. It was so fast he was able to get both of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize it was a 204, Corey. I didn't realize.
I'm pretty sure he had a sign for me.
Everybody else didn't realize it was a 204 either till Andy, just put it out there. Then I get a bunch of messages.
Somebody asked him wanted to know what grain 204 bullets he liked, how his setup was.
Love it. That's funny. Hey, what are friends good for if they can't give you a hard time? You know what I'm saying?
That's
what
right.
are they good for?
I'm just texting pictures of bobcats right now.
Man, I probably would have pulled a good one over on Andy if it wasn't for Nathan kind of,
Nate ratted you out.
First off, it's all your fault, Corey. You didn't do it quick enough, and then I ended up talking to Andy, and it just came up.
Yeah.
You gotta grab the bull.
I didn't realize pranks were on time limits, so I'll know that next time.
You do. You got to grab the bull by the horns. You got to. But
I didn't have his number. I was showing it to Micah now. I didn't even tell Micah about it.
What?
When Corey started texting me.
Oh, yeah, the prank that didn't work. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of bobcats, we need to kill some bobcats at your place. There's a mother and
I've
3.
tried once.
Have you? And
Have
nothing worked?
No.
Would you go down on the bottom?
It was in that tournament we did the other week.
Yeah. It was really rainy.
And so I just stuck with all prey distress.
Right.
Just if it was a possibility to come out. But
Nothing did. It was a bad day. So, yeah, let's talk about coyote tournament coyote hunting. I don't know if everybody does it a little differently, but if you were in a tournament this weekend, which we all are, it's a tournament that, bobcats count for something, coyotes count for something. I don't know about foxes. We'll find out tomorrow night. But when you set up to call, what goes through your head? I mean, are you setting up as a coyote hunter or a bobcat hunter? How are you trying to decide where are you going to go? Because even if you're hunting a coyote compared to a bobcat, sometimes where you sit is going to be different. So, what do you do when you're in a tournament setting and both animals are in play?
Well, it really depends on the time of day. Um, you know, if if I'll just start it off, I'll just kick it off first thing in the morning. Like my first two or three stands in the morning, you're going to get probably 15 minutes a piece, and then a little bit of travel time in between. So you're looking at that first hour and a half. You know, that's to me that's the time coyotes are more on their feet. So I look at that right away, and I want to play vocals. My first 3, 4, 5 stands of the morning, I'm playing vocals. That's my plan, and I set up for coyote on those first 4 or 5 stands, and that's what I've got mapped out. Because we all do it. When you get signed up in that tournament, the first thing you do is you're going to look and see which way the wind direction is going to be, what the temperature is going to be, right. And you start mapping out your stands for the next day, or that night, or however the format is of the tournament. So that's what plays through my head. That's the first thing I'm doing. I'm looking for coyote stands, and then once you get past that, first hour and a half, 2 hours of the morning, these animals they share the same core areas. So I play it the same. Start off with a lot of prey distress. When I'm looking for that bobcat or looking for that coyote, I don't go just vocals or prey distress. I kind of do a little bit of both. So that's what I'm looking for. That first opening part of the day.
But you were saying the first 2 stands, you are strictly coyote vocals. You don't throw any prey or anything like that. Okay, that's good.
No, and I might throw some in the middle of that sequence or something, but I'm going to stay pretty vocal heavy. My goal is that first, like I said, 2, 3, 4, 5 stands. I'm going to focus on trying to kill coyotes and multiple coyotes. That's my goal.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense because, truth be told, they're more likely to be the one. I mean, they're easier to kill than bobcats. I guess easier might be a relative term, but there's more of them. They're quicker to respond. They're more aggressive
Right.
Typically. They're easier to kill than a bobcat is, if you want to say easier. And so
Right.
if you're in a tournament and you're focusing on the bobcat first, and then, hey, let's try out this coyote, I guess the way you're kind of putting it, it makes sense. You might be in for a longer day. Put the odds in your
Right.
favor. Go after the animal that's more abundant, and possibly easier to kill. And then we can start looking at bobcats, when things switch and you got to get closer.
Yeah, that's the second part of the day.
Right.
So, and this doesn't have to be tournament related, but when it comes to calling in bobcats, do you find that they can be called any time of the day, or are they like coyotes and usually the first few stands are the best or the last few stands are the best? There's always always seems to be a lull in the middle of the day. Is that the same case with bobcats, or they kind of doesn't matter?
I think there is kind of a lull with them too, but I've had success, all throughout the middle part of the day, calling bobcats. And the reason I think that is because I do try to focus, on them core areas, get tight to those thickets, brushy draws, any kind of brushy structure. That's what I'm going to try to stick to try to kill a bobcat. So, and I do make that my tactic because, we all see it, that lull in the middle of the day. Coyotes just, they just don't want to respond sometimes. And I think more or less they're pretty vulnerable, in the middle of the day, and they know that. So I try to stick to more, prey heavy in that middle part of the day and try to find those key areas that hold, a bobcat. But a lot of times in the middle of the day, I'll kill coyotes too out of those same core areas. So it's either one.
Sure. And that's when you kind of, like I said, you kind of start getting heavier into the prey side of things and laying off the
Yep.
vocals. And obviously, if you're going after bobcats, you don't really want to mess with the vocals anyways. I know they'll still come in on occasion, but probably not
Right.
something you want to, you know,
And
put on the forefront.
and honestly, it's not really a good tactic to target bobcats in a contest. Other than maybe if you have
Don't
a
tell them
tournament that maybe if you have a tournament that has like a big bobcat pod or something like that. But most coyotes are going to outweigh a bobcat, so it's probably not a good idea to focus on the cats. But as far as like sheer numbers, if you're going for a numbers tournament, I definitely would target a bobcat in the middle of the day, as far as just numbers.
Yeah. Well, and you target in some of those areas, their core areas, and a lot of times their core areas might be where coyotes are denned. And so, like I've noticed
Oh,
with,
darn.
especially in our area, during the middle of the day, and you and I, when that last tournament you, me, and Austin did together, we focused on like trying to get on top of them, because it felt like even if you were 100 yards away from the coyotes in the middle of the day, they weren't coming. It felt like you had to be just outside of where
Right.
they were laid up, and then maybe they would poke their head out and take a look because you were right there. And even then, it didn't work 90% of the time. But
Yeah.
that's those bobcat areas. And if those are areas that are good and thick for a bobcat, where do you think they're good and thick for something else? A coyote.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yep.
you got to be on your game, I guess, because they could be right on top of you when they pop out. And we had that happen, I guess, on that one stand where, I mean, hell, they were right on top of us like that. That was earlier in the morning, though, wasn't it?
maybe that was fairly.
It was like 10 in the morning, I
It was
guess.
like our second, third set, something like that.
Yeah. But it just happened to be kind of a thicker area, and they were right there. So, yeah, I don't know. It makes sense to target those bobcats, in the middle of the day compared to the beginning and the end, when
Right.
those coyotes are going to be a lot more active.
Right.
So, yeah, that makes sense. But what about organization? So this is like a big thing for us. We're always looking at our maps, like tomorrow night and during the week, you're saying, hey, we need to hit this farm, we need to hit this farm, and we need to hit this farm. Let's say there's 3 places that you're like, we've got to hit them. Maybe you've got trail cams out and there's coyotes on them all the time. We've got one place like that right now. We're like, we've got to hit this place. I don't care where else we're going. This place has got to get hit, right? Which means we won't see a freaking dog, right?
We've got pictures of them every day.
Every single day.
Every day. So we'll go out there and it won't be shit.
But when you're kind of mapping your stuff, and you have this. I mean, you live kind of down in the southern part of the state where, you might be traveling a couple hours to the tournament. How are you working your sets? Do you work? I mean, I probably can guess your answer, but do you work furthest to closest? What I mean by that is furthest away from the tournament check-in to closest, or do you worry about what are my best spots and when am I going to put myself at those spots? Which way do you kind of look at it?
Well, there's a lot of variables to that, and I try to start out in my best spot, even if I do have to travel a little bit. And I try to, if I'm gonna have to travel sometime during that day, I'll travel in the middle part of the day, like high noon. That's where I'm gonna do most of my traveling. But sometimes you have to sacrifice, some really good stands that you think are going to produce, because just like you said, just because you're getting them on game camera, that doesn't mean they're going to come. So it's hard to not go to those places when you see them there every day on your trail cameras, or you got the mailman telling you, hey, I see these pair of coyotes out in this field every day, and you're like, man, we're going to get in there, we're going to pound it. You get in there and, man, you just don't call anything up, and it's just the way the game is played, I guess. It's the best way to put it. But as far as organization, it's a tough pill to swallow, but I always stick to a plan of starting here and finishing here, and it usually has to do with the wind. Wherever the wind's blowing, I pretty much want to start opposite from which direction the wind's blowing, and just call my way into the wind. That's just kind of how I do it, and it's backfired on me a few times, but sometimes sometimes it pays off. So
especially when that wind makes a nice little shift in the middle of the day, and you're like, crap.
Then you got to scramble. You're like,
this is not what I was
I
hoping
thought it was
for.
supposed to be south all day long, and then
Also, last time
Yeah.
upcoming Saturday, midday, it doesn't like swing. It goes from a south wind to a north wind.
It
Just
totally
within an hour,
switches.
it just goes.
Awesome. Perfect.
Oh, that's
just
the worst.
Terrific.
I hate
Now,
those days.
does that affect the calling? Do you think that kind of checks them up to where they'll lay low for a little bit, or is it just now you got to change plans and look at it at a different angle?
Well, it does. I think it does affect the animals to a certain extent. Especially something that drastic. It's a little bit different if it starts out like maybe a northeast, and it's gonna switch to an east, and then eventually it's gonna switch to a southeast. Those type of days don't seem to be so bad, but something really drastic like that, I'm not trying to put any bad mojo on you guys, but it's not worked out well for me. It usually seems like it takes a couple hours after that wind change, for them to kind of pick up on it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You think from an animal's perspective of survival,
Right.
something's not right, or I can't get a consistent something. I'm just going to stay put.
Yeah. Everything changed.
Right.
I'm here.
I'm going to wait till I know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, if you think like if you look at a coyote's core area as their house, kind of like we've talked about with deer and all that, and you change everything like that, which looks like might happen to us Saturday. A lot of humans would do it. Humans would be like, oh man, it went from 20 degrees outside to 90. I'm just going to settle down here. Like, what's going on outside? Or maybe vice versa. It went from 90 to 20. I'm going to stay put for a minute. I mean, it's the same for a coyote. Like he's been using his nose is his main, weapon, right? And so he's been using it a certain way for, let's say, 3 straight days. We've had a south wind by Saturday for 3 straight days at least.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the day, it's going to switch. And so he's going to go, okay, with this type of wind, I like being over here. So I might just chill out until I can figure out how to get over there or whatever. And so he's not worried about, calling anymore. He's worried about not dying, just staying alive.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You change stuff really quickly. That sucks, but that's life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you just got to take advantage of it. These predators, they really seem to really be on their feet, in front of I'm assuming it's probably going to be a front that's moving through. So they're really going to be on their feet that morning, is in my opinion, in my experience. So I'd really take advantage of that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's my hope. Which means we'll text each other all about 10 o'clock. How many you got down? None. How many you? None. Well, hey, that's
the way.
why they call them tournaments and not just guarantees.
That's right.
But I kind of want to do this just to stick the knife in the sides of Andy and Corey here. But let's talk about your rifle of choice this year. It is not the 204. So we're going to let Corey. We're going to let Corey clear the air.
Don't understand why.
Corey, what are we shooting this year? I think I already know the answer, but what are we shooting this year, man?
Yeah, I'm sure you probably do. Yeah, I mean, we actually did some more load development on the 22 Parvo, so I'm shooting a new bullet here probably next week. Gonna switch it up with that a little bit, but it's still the same caliber. So man, that thing's been treating me pretty good. I really like it. So that's what I'm going with, the old 22 Parvo.
Good. Have you had a chance to mess with the 22 Arc yet, or 22 Creedmoor? One of the two.
I do have a 22 Creedmoor. I've been playing around with it a lot. I've shot everything from 80 grain down to 62 grain with it, and so far it's absolutely loved everything that I've put in it, and it's a tack driver. I don't know. It's when my Parvo, it's so light, it's so compact that I love grabbing it when I leave the house. So that's the gun of choice when I'm going out to the field.
Right. On that 22 Creedmoor, and the only reason I'm asking is because I got a buddy that was asking me about it the other day, and I haven't learned much about it yet. Is that a custom rifle, or is that, one that you've just picked up off the shelf somewhere?
It's a custom rifle. Actually, it was my old 22 250 that I'd used for probably about 15 or 16 years. Finally shot the barrel out on it and decided I'd turn it into a 22 Creed. It's factory 700 action, but it's been blueprinted and everything. It's pretty well custom all the way through now. So, but it's a shooter for sure.
I gotcha.
What type of twist rates on those?
Both my Parvo and my 22 Creed are 1 1/8 twist.
Okay.
Nice.
So
yeah,
like I said, I've not had no trouble out of that 1 1/8 twist running, light bullets with it. It actually shot them way better than I thought it would. I mean, you can't tell no difference between it and the 80s.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I figured the 22 Parvo was the answer. It does have a 2 in it.
Yeah, I mean, he's still.
But I made my decision today. I was out shooting some more. That 223 was actually shooting really good, but I didn't shoot my 6 Creedmoor last time I shot. I shot my 22 250, and it didn't shoot it didn't shoot the way I remember it shooting. So I actually cleaned it today, and so it's out of the running because it's now freshly cleaned and I didn't shoot it. But I'll tell you what, I shot today, and that 6 Creedmoor is the one that's going.
Yeah.
There you go.
The 223 did well, but the 6 Creedmoor just.
We don't need no runners.
It did good. It did good. I mean, and just figuring out your MOAs at further distances is so damn nice because it's just so flat shooting, and that's with shooting the 108s out of it right now. Once I run out of those, I'm gonna drop down to something else. But I mean, it's a hell of a gun. So I think that's gonna be the Coyote gun this year for now, at least, is the 6 Creedmoor. But
there you go.
Yep. Plus, like you said, there was just a little bit of wind today, maybe 8 mile an hour, 810, here and there. And those 223 50 grainers at 300 and 400 yards, it'd push them 6-7 inches, after a couple hundred yards. And that 6 Creedmoor didn't move them. It just right where it needed to be.
They can stand up to that wind.
Totally different animal.
Yeah, definitely. But so what grain is the load that you're working up now on the Parvo?
It's actually still going to be a 69 grain. We're just trying a different 69 grain bullet. We've been shooting Sierra TMKs.
Stop giggling.
And
Andy told me to quit giggling because you said 69. We're all 15.
I agree. But anyway, we're going back with another 69. It's I'm not even exactly sure what it is. It's just something Ryan's been working on. So
nice. That's cool.
Right on.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I wish I would have had the old Garmin. What's that thing called?
I don't know, but
The speed deal.
Yeah.
not
Chrono. Is it called a chronograph?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wish I'd had that today because I'm curious. You know, you got a 22 Parvo running a 69 out of it compared to a 223 running a 50. I bet that 22 Parvo is still faster than that 223.
We're right at 30, 35, 60, I think. We're pretty well right there, about 35, 50.
Yep.
So it's
I would venture to guess.
Yeah. Is that why you hate the 204 so much? Is because of how fast it is? Is it too fast? Can you be too fast?
How fast is it?
Hey, let me clear the air. I didn't know that I don't like it. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. No, I mean, when it comes to old school stuff, I mean, speed kills. You can't take that away from any rifle. The 220 Swift, the 204, speed kills. It's these modern cartridges. It's all about heavier projectiles and RPMs. So I don't know. It's pretty neat, to play around with them. But I still really like, some of the mold rounds, especially the 22 250, the 243. Those are speed demons and speed kills in my book. They all have their place. Have their place.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I giving Corey crap.
That once again, if you can't have friends that give you crap, why even have friends? Hey, remember you were talking about the worst coyote round.
Decided to come on the show and stop being unsociable just because I didn't like the 204.
I decided to go ahead and let it be forgiven. So.
Yeah, and Andy knew that you missed him, so he finally decided to show up. But
I'm glad you're here, buddy.
Yeah, the what was I going to say? At least, like I said, at least he gave an answer, kind of like when we had our worst coyote round, our worst coyote caliber show.
We need to do a show like that again.
Yeah, I mean, I was the only one that gave an answer in that damn show. You guys were talking about BB guns and
I really don't think it was that bad.
Slingshots.
I don't remember what I said, but I'm pretty sure you're way wrong.
It was a pellet gun. I'm pretty sure you said, "Oh no, the 22 long rifle is not a good coyote round."
Now you're just making shit up.
Said any of that.
We need to go back and re-release that one or do it again. That was a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of rounds, by the way, Corey, we were talking about suppressors, and I was curious. I think I have an idea what he uses, but I've been doing some more research on suppressors lately. And are you running those AB Raptors?
We run a lot of them out at the shop, and my son Braden, he runs an AB Raptor. Very good can, very very good can.
Yeah, I was looking at those, and I actually was looking at the Huxworks for my gas guns. I've got 2 gas guns, and I was thinking about adding that to my gas guns and then removing the suppressor from those and moving that over to my bolt action. And man, that Huxworks looks pretty damn cool. I just can't decide what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just get one of each.
There you go. Go for it.
Yeah.
First world problems.
That's the best solution right there. You just go ahead and buy them all.
Give me one too while you're at it.
Okay. I think that's illegal. I think it's frowned upon.
You just pay for it and let me use it.
What can do you personally like out of all of them? The ones you've shot, obviously.
Man, I like I said, we do shoot a lot of cans down at the shop. There is a bunch of good ones out there. Right now, I have to say, I really love my Diligent can. It's so light. I don't even notice it really on my gun at all, and it's extremely quiet. I went ahead and I bought the 22 cap for it, and it just made it even that much quieter. But really like my Diligent can. But man, like I said, there's a ton of good ones out there. That AB Raptor, the dead air cans, man, dead air cans are really quiet. So there's a lot of good ones out there right now.
Yeah.
Me and Corey agree on something.
You agree? Yep, you do.
I've heard a few of our buddies. They run the dead air, and I think whenever I go for the next one, I was going to run with the dead air probably.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about them.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like the best can ever. Like it's not like some holy grail of cans, but I just feel like it's a really solid
You're right.
can. I mean,
Yeah.
no complaints about it.
Does the job.
Right.
You don't notice it. It's kind of the whole point.
As expected.
Yeah, the whole point. Yeah. Are you going up to the tournament this weekend? I don't think you are, but I guess I could be wrong.
I actually was planning on being up in that area this weekend, and I thought about coming by just to say hi to everybody. My plans just kind of fell through. Actually, my son was wanting to go up and do some alternative deer hunting, so and then he got busy this weekend and wasn't going to be able to go, so we just decided we're actually going to go up in that area the following weekend. So. And
Gotcha.
then I got sick too. That was kind of one of the things that kind of played a role in it too. I didn't want to go up this weekend with being sick, being around a bunch of people.
Yeah, man. It happens.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, hey, like I said, we're kind of Andy's already been in one tournament. We're kicking off our tournament season kind of this weekend. We're recording this on December 26th, so ours is kind of starting this weekend. For the most part, this is when ours starts, and then Andy usually gets one in before this. Sometimes not, but
It's just one. It's
Yeah.
a fundraiser tournament.
Yeah.
I do whatever.
I'll tell you what.
I know where it is.
I'm impressed with you fellas that you even hunted that. It was a
That was
miserable
ridiculous.
day. It was raining all day,
It's
Uh,
terrible.
and I'm impressed you guys even hunted. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I would have been like, I'm gonna go to the breakfast place, and I'm gonna eat breakfast. And I'm gonna go home.
We did stop and eat lunch. We went and
Oh,
got
yeah.
dry clothes.
You know it's a bad day when, what was it, 2 dogs won it?
3.
3 dogs. 3 dogs won it.
Yeah.
Won everything. So that's a
Wow.
rough day hunting. How many
That is a
teams
rough
do you
day.
think were there?
I think they try to keep it pretty small, so it's only like 16, 17 teams.
Okay, so small
Yeah.
one, but still
But
out of that many
One
teams.
team had 3, 2 teams had 2,
And that was
nobody else had over 1.
Oh, wow.
Like there's
Yeah.
only 3 teams
Wow.
that killed multiple coyotes.
Damn,
That's a bad day.
awesome. Well, Corey, man, hey, we're planning on seeing you up at the tournament for Grow Pediatric Therapy Services.
Yeah,
so
I
we're
look
excited
forward to
about
it.
that one. I always say planning because the best laid plans are sometimes. What is that saying? The best laid plans.
I don't know what the hell you're saying.
This is your story.
Yeah,
bud.
well, there's a saying: the best laid plans sometimes fall apart. But hey, Corey Groff, thanks for coming on and talking some coyote hunting with us, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you, Corey.
See ya.
Thank you.